And we're back. You know, I usually say back to the Matrix Network, but I've been thinking this week, whatever that means. Maybe I was wrong about everything. Literally everything.
Is it possible?
I've been thinking this week, and I'm going to show clips on why, but maybe there really is no PSYOP. Maybe the government really is our friend. Maybe we have this all skewed, and maybe I just was wrong about everything. But before we get into that, we have a special guest today, Mr. Elder.
Greetings.
Well, he's going to be joining us today, and hopefully you guys are ready for, I usually, I'm trying to bring this in, like, I usually drop, like, are you ready for the Matrix? But maybe it's wrong. Maybe there is no Matrix. Maybe I'm just sucked in my own delusion.
This is because the Epstein files, isn't it?
Well, I don't want to get into Pam Bondi's escapades. Now, that was wild. And the Joker said, yeah, you know what? You're just a loser lawyer that never made it. I mean, she went off the rails. If you ever want to talk about a PSYOP, man, actually, no. It's not a PSYOP. But if there was a PSYOP, that would be it. Let me bring this whole escapade of hyperbolic statements and ridicule ad hominem at the best. Like, if you ever wanted to see ad hominem in action, go watch that. I'm going to attack your character and everything about you, but totally not address the question. But maybe I'm wrong.
Well, you usually drop it like it's hot, but you're saying that now you're going to back it up?
Yeah, I'm going to back that truck up right into the gauge.
The little garage.
Yeah, and it's really little because the truck's really little.
Well, that's fixable?
Yeah, it can be if you want to deal with our sponsors this week.
Is it not TV Land anymore?
No, this week our sponsors is Good Neck. Are you getting good neck? Because if you're not, it's probably because you got tech neck. And our sponsors here at Good Neck want you to remember, we have a solution for all that bad neck. And you can get good neck and kick the tech neck to the curb.
On your computer for more than 5 hours a day, you need to watch this till the end. Your neck issues might already be pretty serious.
Like me, staring at a computer and my phone all day makes me lean forward for hours, putting way too much pressure on my neck. That's why my neck often feels stiff and sore. This little thing I'm using right now, it supports my chin really well and takes a lot of pressure off my neck. Honestly, it's a total game changer for tech neck. And this thing is honestly really thoughtful. Everything that touches your skin is made with soft padding. There's a double discount right now, so I bought one for my whole family. You should definitely go try it too.
Chris, it's perfect.
I mean, do you have good neck?
I think so. I mean, I've always gotten good neck.
Yeah, well, I all the time have bad neck. And now I can get good neck with good neck. And we can kick all that tech neck to the curb.
Yeah, I would get that just to keep my chin up, because people are always telling me that, Elder, keep your chin up. That would help.
To all of our listeners listening to the Matrix Network, I've been looking at the news, the crazy Congress with Pam Bondi, like we were talking about in the beginning, the ads, the CIA agent John Kariakou, we're getting to him. Maybe I was wrong about everything. Maybe there's no PSYOPs. This is just normal life. We just think it's a PSYOP. The real PSYOP is believing that the government even do PSYOPs. So they're actually performing a PSYOP, so we believe that there's PSYOPs, but that's the PSYOP, is that we believe that there's PSYOPs.
So they're gaslighting us.
Yeah.
And we're the crazy ones.
And they know that. And if we actually saw who we are in real life, we'd probably all kill ourselves. But instead, they're using PSYOPs to prevent mass extermination. They're actually being the kind ones.
Because they care about us.
Right. And maybe there's no behavioral engineering at all. The government is just trying to fix the natural de-evolving of humanity. See, we think behavioral engineering, we were talking about this, behavioral engineering, hostile architecture, all that stuff. And we're thinking the government's doing that to take away our freedom. But maybe they're doing that because they know if they didn't do that, we were all devolved into having tech neck. So they're actually doing these things because they're trying to save humanity, not control us.
That's why they need cameras in our bathrooms.
Because they see that we're over here not knowing how to wipe properly. Or like you showed that video where the people are leaving years of poop in a toilet and that's actual real humanity.
It's actually worse than that. There's actually grown men telling other grown men that if they wipe, they're not real men.
Yeah, that's why they're called dude wipes.
Yeah, no, they're actually, there is no wipes. It's just that. So my sister sends me these videos all the time.
Oh no.
Men encouraging other men that if you're going to be a real man and not a pansy and not a wussy, then you need to not be wiping.
You're not talking about a toothless Bengal.
No.
Okay.
Well, that's what, but I think it's disgusting. And I think women think it's disgusting. I don't know how we've come to this. And honestly, I think if we would just let Larry Ellison into our bathrooms, then I think things would change. Because he would be able to tell us, look, hey, colleague, you didn't wipe. Oh, you didn't wipe good enough. And I'm going to be like, I'm tired of wiping, Grandpa. And he's going to say, I don't care. That's too darn bad. That's what he's going to tell me. And sometimes I need to hear that with my ears because I don't see it with my eyes.
Well, are you going to show us that?
Of course.
All right.
So here it is.
I'm sorry, the Ring camera wants to do what?
Until now. One post of a dog's photo in the Ring app starts outdoor cameras looking for a match. Search party from Ring uses AI to help families find lost dogs.
That's straight up surveillance state. They are using dogs and dogs going missing to launch into a complete, utter surveillance state.
I don't think you have to go that far. I think you can just say, yeah, if your kid's missing and they're not on Epstein Island and they're not in Hawaii fires or anything else, then you can ask your neighbors, what's wrong with that? Back to you, Elder.
Well, unless one of your neighbors has your kid, then that's different.
Yeah, then they're safe.
It's not surveillance state. They're trying to help us. If they didn't do that, how would we find our dogs? See, we need to understand that we live in a world where if the government didn't control all our moves, we would end up just walking into walls and just, the reason why you think that's funny when you watch a video game is because that's real. That's you. And you want to think it's not you. You want to think you're a highly intelligent entity, but you're not. And they know it. They see us all every day with these cameras.
You can't do what you could on a video game to a dog in real life. Like, I remember, you used to have this dog, and you called him Apollo. Mm-hmm. And it was a Rottweiler, and I used to love that dog. I loved him like he was one of my own. And especially his lips. Like, his lips are like that velvet feel.
Oh, yeah.
And it had like this velvet flavor. Like, when you kiss him, just the aroma when he walked in the room. And sometimes I would take his cheeks and I would like separate them. Mm-hmm. And I would just go in there and I don't know. There's something about his cheeks that are so soft.
You have to remember that the government knows that's what you're thinking. See, you think that's normal, but if the government didn't protect you, you would say, oh, that's soft. Oh, I like that. And the next thing you know, you'd be boiling the dog. And the government knows that. So it wants to say, we're watching you. And it's not because they want to control you.
I would plead with them like, no, don't hurt him. He just wanted to give me a kiss.
No, that's why they tell you to stay away from strangers.
Stranger offered you anything like candy, money, or gifts, what would you do?
Even though I'm 17, I'd never take anything from a stranger. Not money, candy, gifts, anything.
Rule number 1, never take money, candy, toys, gifts, or anything from a stranger.
See, I'm telling you, they're here to protect us. Why do they have to tell us that? That's self-evident. Don't take candy, money, and the kid said, hey, I'm 17 and I still don't do that.
Yeah, but when he's 18, you know what he's going to be doing.
Well, the government knows that too. That's why they got to watch you. Mm-hmm. So all of this surveillance state stuff is overblown. It's actually here to protect us. You don't agree with that, Elder?
I mean, in the case of a stranger,
Danger.
I would say show me the money or show me the candy before I get into the van. I want to see it up front.
Or at least before they get into your van. You want to see their money first. I mean, yeah, I'm not letting anybody into my van. Not anybody. Like you're going to show me some identification.
Certainly not the back of the van. No.
I agree. But then you have those people going out, still talking smack.
Excuse me, my car's broke down at the end of the alley and my dog's pregnant in the back. I'm trying to get her to a vet. Can you help me? Can you bring your car around? Okay, I'm at the end of the alley. Okay. Do you know if the vet performs abortions on puppies? Do you know if they abort puppies at the vet? Well, Shaniqua, she's pregnant with a litter of puppies, but she's way too young to have pups, and they're holding her back. She's basically a pup having a pup, so I need to abort them.
Holding her back?
Yeah, I just need to abort the puppies, because abortion's healthcare.
No, it's not.
Isn't that what your bumper sticker says on your car?
Well, yeah, but that's not for animals.
Okay, so we shouldn't abort animal fetuses?
No.
Okay, so why is it okay to abort human fetuses?
Because it's very different.
Aren't human fetuses worth just as much as animal fetuses?
Yeah, they are, but
So what's the difference?
The difference is that my bumper sticker represents humans, not animals.
Exactly, and humans are worth just as much as animals, and they need to be treated with just as much as respect. So if we wouldn't abort animal fetuses, we shouldn't do it to human fetuses.
Well, I disagree with that.
Okay, and watch your tone when you're talking to a black man.
Excuse me? You're not black.
Excuse me, bigot? Don't dead skin me. I was assigned white by my parents' bigoted doctor, but I identify as African American. And trans black men are black men. And Shaniqua needs an abortion.
You're hilarious, and you're an idiot.
At least I know that abortion is murder, and it's not health care. Have a good day, bigot.
Elder, back to you.
Wow, that was a lot to take in. I did notice he was wearing a Vikings jersey. I don't know if that has any effect on anything, but go Birds. Wow, yeah, that was a bit of a mind bender. I was thinking. I've heard of people given the choice between saving their a stranger that's drowning and saving their dog that's drowning. They would take the dog. They would save the dog and let the person drown. So, maybe in certain cases there is more value to, a pet than a human.
Well, that's a perspective. And you know what? Who are we to say? Maybe we were really wrong about the value of humans, right? Maybe octopi, they're over there teaching fish how to be, they're the real colonists. They're over there making these fish their slaves, beating them in the face when they don't do something right. They actually punched them in the face. And they train these fish like dogs. That's, maybe we got it all wrong. And the value is just whatever.
Well, who didn't get it wrong is the other side of the world. Or squid, whatever that is. It's like a milkshake. You get that at McDonald's. It's like, yeah, let me go ahead and get that octopus milkshake with my cheeseburger meal. I mean, that's in like a coffee cup. So yeah, this is pretty normal.
I don't know. I kind of think that having your food be dead first might be better, but it's just me. It's just my opinion. I preferred eating dead things, not live things. But that's just.
But you know what else is a lie? We've been telling everybody for years that AI's taking over. AI's coming to get us. AI is a scam. It's not really real. And I think this whole AI boom that we've been experiencing is a byproduct of the truth. If it was real, they should have a continual flow of not just innovation, but integration, even in the money market. But no, you can't. You hear this loop. AI over here is investing in this AI, and this AI is sharing with this one, and this one's over here sharing with this. It's like there's no expansion because it doesn't even exist. Like, this guy makes it very simple.
Let me get this straight. The AI companies that aren't even profitable yet have bought all the RAM that hasn't been produced yet, and also all the graphics cards that haven't been produced yet, to put in all their data centers that haven't been made yet, because they theoretically can make trillions of dollars. And then our entire economy is propped up on this hope and dream. Did I get that right?
And so, I don't know if you guys remember, like, they're telling us, RAM is for our computers, read access memories, the little RAM chips. They have to stop. A lot of these large RAM companies they supposedly said we have to stop producing RAM so average consumers can buy it, because the AI companies need so much RAM that we can't provide the both. And so they need to sell all this RAM to AI companies. And then AI companies say, hey, we don't have enough investors, so we're just going to invest in each other. Hey, OpenAI is going to invest in NVIDIA, and NVIDIA is going to invest into Copilot, and Copilot is going to invest in XAI, and we're all going to buy NVIDIA, and it's all just an inner circle web of nothingness. It seems like everything's fake.
Could this be, though, the next moon landing thing? Are we at an arms race with Russia and China?
There is no China. There is no Russia.
Well, maybe there is, and they're also trying to develop AI.
You ever been to China?
No, but I've been in that area.
Where? Tibet? 7 years?
South Korea.
How do you know that was real? How do you know that just wasn't a theme park?
Well, everybody talked in a different language, because I've thought about that. Like, maybe I got in a plane and I got off the same plane. It didn't go anywhere. They just, there's screens on the windows, because you could never really prove it. And I've thought about all that. But I did end up in a location where all the signs were unreadable by mine eyes.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying, how do you know that's just not another part of the landmass that you're living on?
Then that means I traveled somewhere, because it's not the landmass I'm currently living in. I traveled somewhere.
No,
I don't care if it's Calcutta.
What I'm saying, let's assume all the landmass is really small.
So you're saying that it's a small world after all.
Right.
I've been to Jersey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Old or new?
North.
You've also been to West Philadelphia.
Yeah. We don't talk about that.
Sore subject still, I see.
Things happen in Philly. It's not good.
I'm starting to think...
What happens in Philly stays in Philly.
I'm starting to think all the information I've been gathering has just been a curation.
You think people in India would try to fake something to get you to believe it's real?
It's looking that because it tastes good, not because, I might be tempted to do the same. I'm just saying.
Yeah, well,
they are delicious.
All I'm going to say is, how do you know that just isn't down the road?
I think that was the cow's kid.
Yeah, but how do you not...
like a stillbirth or something.
How do you not know that's over in West Virginia somewhere and they're just doing that? How do you know that's India?
Well, yeah, according to Trump, where do you say the people are eating dogs and cats?
Right next door. Another thing I was thinking that's fake is the pyramids. See, they always tell us one of the most groundbreaking inventions is the wheel. And it's round. But you don't see any round pyramids. You only see triangular pyramids. And maybe, we think that these pyramids, they tell us this is some kind of like burial thing or religious thing or whatever.
What about the Colosseum? That's roundish.
Yeah, but it's open.
Doesn't have a dome on top.
Yeah, it's open.
Not anymore. Maybe it did before.
Yeah, that's true. Could be. But what was the first structures? It wasn't the Colosseum. That's way late. They may have already been trying to play out this idea.
Yeah, but I forgot. Colosseum didn't even exist. It's fake too.
Well, it could have been. Yeah, look at all these videos, these movies we watch. But the triangle, maybe that was the original wheel. And it was groundbreaking. And they realized if they could get the angles up, That's how they built the pyramids. And this one guy, he takes it to the next level. He says, maybe we got it wrong and triangles are the better wheel. And if that's true, then what we realize is that the pyramids are really just a monument for the wheel. See?
That's not bad, except I'd be concerned about a certain medical condition that could occur by riding on that.
Yeah. I mean, that's got so much traction.
Yeah,
I don't get that.
I don't think he wants to have any kids, probably.
Probably not.
Look, regardless, this might be what the ancients found out. And look at the double pyramid. You know, this may be really the truth. But how do we know? We never get to try this on our roads.
Uncanny.
They only force us to use round wheels. And they say, oh, you can't use studs. But those are little pyramids. That's why they don't want us to use it. I think there's more to the pyramid than we're being told.
You know, it's interesting you said that. In the Epstein files, I think Jeffrey himself actually says at a young age, kids are taught how to write. And this already dooms them from the start because then they're forced to think and go follow a certain pattern in life. And then everything around their life gets structured into that pattern. When really, these children should be more freeing. And we know what Epstein had in mind, of course.
If that's real.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Is that why cursive writing is so much better? Because it's more, flowing and flexible?
Well, see, you point out something there. That's interesting. You say that, Elder. You know what they're not teaching anymore? Is cursive.
Mm-hmm.
They just passed a law in Pennsylvania that now says they do have to teach cursive in schools in Pennsylvania.
Maybe they are trying to bring back the Declaration of Independence of 1776.
Yeah, we the people.
Philadelphia.
4
Yeah.
And 97 years ago.
There's a lot about language, like spell. Like you have to spell a word, but a word's really spells.
Mm-hmm.
And cursive is a very intricate format of spelling words.
Yeah.
There's something into cursive, and a lot of times they don't want you to know cursive.
Oh.
Well, if you're casting a spell, you use certain movements and words to cast a spell. So maybe there's something, tied up with that.
Hey, you know how spells usually have to do with a format or ingredients, just like you have to use certain letters to create a word. So you're actually creating a spell by spelling, just like you're creating a potion or a performance of a certain word function to cast a spell. But spells are usually cast by words.
Yeah, but they don't want us into all that. They want us hooked on phonics. And I have a lot of friends who are still trying to get off phonics. They've been hooked since they were a kid.
Oh, they're probably deaf.
They never had a chance.
Because they can't hear.
Look at Fabulous. He got shot in the thigh.
I mean, how do you perform phonics if you can't hear? Like, that's actually hearing out the word.
Yeah, like I said, some people have all the luck.
Unless deaf people really have the truth, and they're trying to suppress us from that not getting the truth, so they're trying to teach us phonics.
What if none of us can actually hear and we're having everything broadcasted directly into our brain?
Yeah, through 7G.
Wow. You guys are blowing my mind right now.
Well, because I was going to talk about in the last week's episode, University of Massachusetts has a paper that came out to say we can use human bodies as antennas for 6G because there's too much interference. So to get the signal clear enough so that you can have that signal on your device, we need to use the human body as an amplifier for the signal so it can pick up that little bit of signal that's being sent and it just doesn't get lost to noise. But maybe that's just a little tidbit of information because they know the truth is that it's all being broadcast internally anyway.
Oh, that's right. Let the bodies hit the floor.
Right. From the ceiling to the floor.
Yeah. Wow.
Right. I'll tell you another thing that's a lie. You ever ate at Burger King?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think there's actually people working at Burger King. I think they've already automated Burger King.
You think they already checked out? Like, so they're so hooked on phonics, they're just gone.
No, I just think there's nobody actually working at Burger King. You know how?
Well, that's my experience. Whenever I go to the drive-through window, it seems like those people are just gone. Like, they're there, but they're not really there.
They say stuff weird like "you rule." That's something like AI would say.
Yeah, they're in a whole different dimension. When you show up to that window, I'm hoping they're gonna be able to come back down to my dimension.
Right.
To my dimension.
Right.
That way they can actually fix me a sandwich.
But they can't, and I'm going to show you why. But you know how we've always been seeing, they've already been acclimating us to the idea that the AI and robots are making food, and they try to show us that it's really slow and it's really nice and pretty. But every time I've eaten Burger King, it looks like Smash King. It looks like Smash and trash.
And you don't order a Smash Burger, and they give it to you anyway.
Right. It's always grilled or whatever with that.
Of course.
Whatever. But you know, what if they were automating everything and they say, you know, we have this idea Burger King's always bad and you blame it on the workers and they're lazy and they're underpaid. But what if it's already automated and that's why it's bad? But now they can just blame it on the workers that you think are lazy. And so you're just like, oh yeah, well, it's just Burger King. No, it's automation. And you won't think it's automation. You'll just blame the lazy workers. But it's really just all automated, and the people there are just there to keep the illusion that there's lazy workers, because this is what they're doing at Burger King.
We're all getting fired, man. We're all getting fired.
Whoa, that guy looks like he found enlightenment.
Well, if this is what's going on at Burger King, who's cooking the food?
But I mean, isn't this what we want? We want our children to be off of all these phonics out there. We want them to be clean. We want them to find enlightenment.
Wait a second. If that guy was the cook and he was making the burgers, I'd be actually pretty happy if he was, making sure he was clean and, that it was appropriate for him to make the food.
Amen.
And that's why my food tastes like soap?
No, it tastes clean and healthy. See,
it could taste like other things.
Yeah, see, you don't listen to those other guys out there. The Dairy Queens, the Dairy Queens are always going to come against the Burger King, because you already know it's the Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
What about Jack in the Box?
Yeah, that's a great example.
What about Checkers?
Yep, I'm going to rest my case on that one.
Well, back to the language.
You said checkers?
I was going to say there's no place called chess, but upper crest. Back to the language thing. Language is all spoofed too. I mean, have you heard the modern language? I think they use language to indoctrinate us, to keep us structured, because they, like I was saying in the beginning, they're doing this for our good, because they know if they let us free, we would talk like gibberish. And I think it's happening again, and I think that's why we're getting concerned. And I think all of this ridicule on the Gen Zs and all this Gen Alpha lingo is so that they can get us back into continuing progress. Because what I'm about to show you is what happens if the government wasn't going to control you.
What the fuck are the words we're using today? Clavicular was mid-gesture gooning when a group of foids came and spiked his cortisol levels. Is ignoring the foids while munting and mogging moids more useful than SVM Chad fishing in the club? What the f are we saying? Clavicular almost caught a career-ending cortisol spike after a LARP Max Stacy tried gestrifying him on stream and calling him a good boy while he was mid-mock between two low-tier normies at ASU. What the f what are we saying? Clavicular caught a cortisol Clavicular caught a catastrophic cortisol spike in fear of becoming a bloat cell after his assistant forgot to remove the cheese off his cheeseburger.
This is what I'm saying. The government knows if we didn't create a structure of language like English, and we just let you guys be free, that's what would happen. And we're all sitting here thinking, like, what are they saying? And it's actually the government saying, we're here to protect you. Because if we didn't control your life, you would end up like that on the daily. And that's real. That's on X all over the place. It's just people talking like it's normal.
So you're saying they're saving us from becoming that.
Right. And that's what all of this is. Like everything we think is a psyop, and everything we think is behavioral engineering, everything we think is structure control, everything we think is mind control. It's all just to prevent us from ending up like that and all the microcosms of that.
So Big Brother does care about us.
Well, if they knew this would be the end result, like they've seen this before, and if anybody would know, they would know. They're like, we have to prevent this because this is not moving the goalposts forward.
Well, if that's the case, then they need to raise the standard for ages that can have a smartphone, not just be on the social media for a smartphone at all. Just you need to be 18 or older to even own a smartphone, like you'd buy alcohol or cigarettes. You need to be 18 or older.
I shouldn't have a smartphone. I'm dangerous with a smartphone, so maybe there should be a cutoff, with old age. Yeah,
Yes,
I can't get off Temu, so,
Yeah, so anybody over the age of 100 and anybody before the age of 18.
Just cut it off.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Literally just take it and lock
100,
it.
huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That seems kind of late.
Oh, you didn't get your name Elder for no reason. Back to you, Elder.
It's time for my nap.
Well, I have something in slew for you both.
Yeah. What you got on those cue cards?
These are just my cue cards, but
You're like Johnny Carson.
They're authoritative, and they allow me to say stuff like "Back to you, Mike." I could just pass the beacon, but there's something that I want you guys to look at, and I think it has to do with this. You guys have seen the movie Matrix, and now it's almost like there's a Matrix within Matrix. I didn't know this is how they made the bullets fly in that famous scene with Neo bending over backwards for Mr. Smith. Apparently that's how it was made.
See, that's secrets and secrets.
Yeah, and people in the comment section, they're denying it. They're like, why are the shells still on the bullets?
Well, they can edit that out post. Like
the bullets are also moving up and down, like as they're not.
Yeah, but you can adjust that with track motion. Like
I want one of those green suits because I could hide and not have to do like chores around the house.
See, I'm starting to believe that. See, that's an analogy. What you think is real is only there so you can continue believing something to keep you on the path of structure. Because if you actually knew what was behind the scenes, you would start doing crazy things and society would go crazy. So you need to be under this control so you will continue the path of structure so you don't end up in the illusion of healthcare.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, because, that's another lie. They tell us we need to eat healthy. They tell us that if we eat too much fast food or this cholesterol and that cholesterol and here's some more pills and here's some more Kool-Aid and take some more of this. You know why? Because you're going to die if you don't. What about two foods? We know Tismala. He's not dead yet.
5 junior bacon cheeseburger. Cobb salad. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
I eat like that all the time. I look pretty good for 27.
6 burgers.
Yeah, you do.
My love. 7 sandwiches from McDonald's. Every day we eat good. 5 foods. We got 4 McDoubles. 1, 2, 3, 4.
4 foods.
2 8-piece chicken. 2 Whopper, 2 cheeseburger. 1 order of nuggets, 2 mini fries, 2 onion rings. Just my love. 5 burgers.
See, healthcare is a scam too. They just want to sell you more pills, more Kool-Aid, more injections, and all of that. But, see, that's what I naturally would say. But what if the inverse is true? What if healthcare and all of that is to control us, not so they can control us in the sense that they want to monopolize us, but it's trying to get our brains back into order because they already know. It's not about being healthy. Eat all the burgers you want, eat all the fat you want, eat all the trash you want. That's not going to affect your life. But how else could we get you to be injected with the brain controlling formula so we can keep you on the straight and narrow path? So what we got to do is convince you that health is important so that you will come to the doctor and take those pills. Every one of those pills are probably the same pill. It's the pill that can make your brain be more functional and orderly. But they got to devise it in all different ways so you believe the illusion. Oh, I got high cholesterol. I got this. Or see that person over there had a heart attack. I mean, look at Trump. I mean, the whole point is it's all fake. They're just doing it not to be malicious, but to keep structure in society because they know if you don't, you'll start ending up being crazy. And they're just trying to protect us. So healthcare itself is just an illusion that you believe so you can take the medication to keep you structured.
I don't know if I believe that because I had a rash and I went to the doctor and they gave me something and it went away. So that has to.
How do you know that's not placebo? How do you know that's not placebo?
It's a pretty bad rash.
Yeah, but once you take the medicine or whatever they gave you, your brain believes that has power. And we know the power of placebo. And how do you know that your belief in that this would do something is actually what engaged the self-healing properties?
Yeah, it could have been something you ate. I mean, there's been a lot of cool food stuff coming out lately.
That'll add flavor.
Gutter oil. We've talked about this before.
Yeah, he's cooking it in the noodles.
Yeah. But usually, like at least in China, they refine the oil first. They take it out of the gutter. They heat it up. They refine it, and then they use it.
Yeah, he's heating it up right now.
Yeah, real time. Yeah. It's being refined in your food.
You can't find stuff like that in the States,
And it's called Wendy's.
This is what they feed
there's Indiana.
This is a chicken sandwich.
You're catching on.
This is how it looks. Look at this. This is ridiculous. But this is what they
Why are they mad? That's just extra space for food. That's like a chicken pita.
And this is why.
Hey,
yeah, they wanted
there.
Yeah,
they wanted less fat. It's fat-free chicken sandwich.
I mean, somebody needs to take that and run with it. That seems like a really good idea. Make a chicken pita.
Or make yourself a wallet out of that.
Yeah, you could, but I don't know. Maybe you got something there too, Collie. Maybe we just need to make a wallet of it. I was thinking about food. After I watched Tismallah eat like 10 foods, I was sitting there thinking, if you want to double up on your food and take on one hit, I don't want just a piece of bread or pita. I mean, that's not enough fat. Take that chicken, open that thing up, and shove that with more chicken, and you can have double chicken. I mean, this is what I'm talking about because brain trauma is probably false. I mean, they tell us that, people have trauma from playing sports or car accidents, but we know that the head is full of fluid. How do you know that that isn't protecting you to the maxims? And the reason why they want you to believe in brain trauma is so that you can take more of this medication to fix the trauma, but it's really just to keep on your narrow path. Because look at this guy.
Oh.
There's no trauma going on.
Well, I wouldn't say no trauma.
Haide! Ia mâna cealaltă când îl pui. Haide! Încă câteva, te rog, hai! Hai că poți! Haide! Încă puțin!
How do you explain this?
Încă puțin! 30 de secunde, ia mâna, Alexandra!
This is efficiency at work.
Deci așa, da? Stai!
Yeah, then move the balloon.
Hai că poți! Haide!
That guy's going full force.
Does he have to do all those in that basket?
Încă o dată!
Look, I don't know.
Maybe he wins a trip to the hospital if he does it.
Hospital smoshable.
I don't know. I wish things would go back to the good old days, like where elders from.
You got some of my home movies there, man. How'd you get those? Wow. Yeah, I remember that.
See, they're trying to protect us from those things.
Yeah.
See, they know those things are real. Where do you think they got that idea from? They saw it at Oswell. They know those things are real. And they put it in movies so we will trust the government. And then we put out these illusions that the government's hiding stuff. I want them to hide that. I don't want to see that. So if they're really protecting me from that thing, I say kudos. Because now we're going to go over to the Chinese medicine. Because maybe they have, what's another thing? What do they call
Holistic.
it? Yeah, holistic medicines and traditional Chinese medicine. They demonize that stuff. But maybe they have the real answers. But we can't do that. Remember, like in America, is the only place in the world that cancer treatment outside of radiation and chemo is illegal. Why are they saying that? Maybe it's to protect us, or maybe we need to remember our roots. But if they are really protecting us, we will see why. Because this is traditional medicine. Oh, see, this is traditional medicine.
Don't go to a chiropractor, just have that done.
See, if the government is protecting us from all this holistic medicines and traditional Chinese medicines and all this ancient medicine, maybe that's the case. maybe that's the case. Maybe the real thing is they make it illegal because they know that's what you're going to end up doing. And do you think that's wise? You think that's going to be efficacious?
Yes.
Yeah, and if so, then why don't you go out there and get, what they say, cast the first stone?
Hey, colleague, do you have a rash?
No, it's going away.
Okay, good.
But back to you, Elder.
My rash is gone.
You guys aren't convinced yet?
About?
That maybe I was wrong about everything?
You're telling us everything's a lie. What's there to be convinced about that?
Because I've been telling everybody for years that the lie is a real lie. But maybe the lie is just there to protect us, not to control us.
Well, I mean, if what you're saying is true, this is probably going to be one of the last shows you'll ever do.
No, I'm going to amplify it if it's real.
So we're going to secretly join the Illuminati.
No, we can't, because if we do, we'll ruin the whole thing.
So we're going to really join the Illuminati.
No, we're going to really talk about the real Matrix.
So we're not going to act like we're talking about the Matrix anymore. We're actually going to go into it.
If this is true, we just need to accept it and be. We just need that guy who was eating the steak.
I was going to say that. I just want a steak.
Yeah, that guy who was eating the steak. We just need to be a part of that team. Because look at Neil. What happened to him? He was fighting to get out, to get to Zion. And when he got there, what did everybody realize? Now, he didn't. He got destroyed. But Zion was just another creation of the architect. It was all illusion on top of an illusion.
Spoiler alert.
The guy who was eating the steak, he's still eating the steak. He's never experienced any of this nonsense. And all these people are fighting inside Zion, but it's all fake too. And so your fighting's fake because it's all fake. You just need to be eating that steak.
So we should be saying that we're fighting the good fight of fake.
No, they're fighting the good fight of compliancy. Because Mr. Anderson was just really trying to help. Saying, if you fight, you're going to be fighting against a ghost. Why don't you just eat the steak?
This is going down that road where it's like the Star Wars people out there. Yeah. They're saying the rebellion, the Jedis were actually the bad guys.
Yeah,
and
that's true.
The Empire was actually the good guys. They're trying to keep order.
Right.
Trying to instill order in a chaotic universe.
So
and
Anakin
do you know
was
how
in
many?
line.
Do you know how many contractors were wiped out when they destroyed the Death Star? They weren't all people from the Empire. They were like independent contractors that were hired.
Right.
It was women and children.
Right.
But now they're all gone.
Well, that's what I'm saying. And what they actually were doing was creating friction and chaos instead of helping the progress to move forward. And if all of this is true, that's all we're doing. And that's the idea. Because think about the CIA. The most clandestine thing that the U.S. government uses. And they do everything under the guise of national security and blah, blah, blah.
You're talking about like stopping the international airport for 10 days and stuff like that with no explanation.
Right.
Yeah.
I think the CIA is really a big frat club for these elites so they can party, and spend all the money that the taxpayers give. And then they can call a group of terrorists. And then, when you get high, you have those crazy ideas like, oh, this is a good idea. And they're crazy ideas. But you want to test it out, but you didn't get the resources. Guess what the CIA's got? Plenty of resources to do whatever crazy idea they come up with. And there's a CIA agent, ex-CIA agent, called John Carrico, and he tells about these wild escapades. And if these things are true, if this is what's going on, then it's just more evidence to the fact that what we are thinking is probably an inverse.
You can't force hummus up someone's rectum, for example, right? You can't, they learned Abu Zubaydah had an irrational fear of insects. And so they put him in a coffin and they dumped a box of cockroaches in there with him and then closed the coffin. Factor. And they left him in there for 10 days just with a diaper. You can't do that. Nobody told you had permission to do something like that. And waterboarding was supposed to be the ultimate technique. But there were a couple that were clearly worse than waterboarding. Sleep deprivation, right? We know from the American Psychological Association, which has done studies on this kind of thing, that people begin to go insane at 7 days with no sleep. They begin to die of organ failure with 9 days without sleep. The CIA was authorized to keep prisoners awake for 12 days. We murdered 2 prisoners with that technique.
This is just the beginning. I'm going to play another one. So you can't stick hummus up somebody's rectum. But where do they get these ideas? Because they're high out their mind. They get these ideas. I've been there. Got those crazy ideas. But I ain't got the resources like the CIA. But they do. Listen to this one.
And I said, okay, so what can I do for you? And he said, we're going to go to the Middle East. I want to get in front of bona fide terrorists, he said. I'm thinking Hezbollah or Al-Qaeda. And I want to show them Polaroids of men having anal sex, like hardcore anal sex. Hardcore anal sex. And I want to ask them if this is a form of torture and should these men be sent to Guantanamo.
Oh my God.
And there was a woman in this foreign intelligence service who was
the ugliest woman I've ever seen in my life.
Like you want to avert your eyes. Like she came off the
side of Notre Dame.
She was a stone gargoyle with a giant
mole right here with a giant hair coming out of it.
That kind of ugly. So I asked her just to meet me privately for lunch on Saturday. Don't tell anybody. And she agreed. And I was like, oh my God. She said yes. And I ran back to the office. I was like, she said yes to a lunch on Saturday alone. And my boss says, okay, here's what I want you to do.
I want you to fuck her. And I said, what? I said,
have you ever seen her? And he said, I know, but we're the good guys.
And you're gonna have to take one for the team. And I go, oh my God. I said,
I go.
Now, doesn't that sound like a frat party?
Yeah, it does.
Have you ever killed anybody? No, thank God. My children asked me that. And I told them very proudly that I have never taken any action that resulted in the death of another human being.
There's one kind of half exception.
And I think about this all the time. In 1993, I guess it was, I was sitting in the morning meeting. I told you earlier that every unit meets every day at 9 o'clock, and you just talk about what happened in the country that you cover overnight. I was in the morning meeting, and the secretary came in, and she said, John, General Powell is on the phone for you. Call him Powell. And I said, General Powell? How does he know who I am? And she
said, I don't know, but he asked for you by name.
My boss is like, well, go answer the phone. So I went to my desk, and I said, good morning, General Powell. This is John Kiriakou. And he says,
John, if the Iraqis were going to kill the president, who would actually be in charge of that operation?
And I said, well, if you're talking about the attempt to kill President Bush, George H.W. Bush, he had been visiting Kuwait. I said, Kuwait operations are run from the Iraqi intelligence service's Basra station. But Basra station is headed by Sabr Abdulaziz Adori, the director of the Iraqi intelligence service.
He says, where does he sit?
I said, Baghdad.
Where exactly in Baghdad?
I said, if you hold on a second, I'll look up the address. So I looked it up. I gave him the address. He says,
thank you. And he hangs up the phone.
I go back in the meeting. They were like, what do you want? I said, he wanted to know about Sabr Adori and the attempt to kill President Bush. I'm like, okay.
8 hours later, we fired 47 cruise missiles into Iraqi intelligence service headquarters.
But by then it was the middle of the night in Baghdad.
And we killed the janitor.
See, this is what I'm talking about. The CIA ain't no clandestine big operation. It's just a big place where big guys get to do big dreams because they got big money. You know, I think everything's just a big lie.
Well, it's a big load that you're dropping on us right now. I'm still trying to process all of this. I'm glad that you're coming clean with all this, telling us the truth finally. It's long overdue. Any thoughts, Elder?
Well, I'm just I'm flattered and honored that you guys would have me on such a historic show. For this to be taking place and for me to be a part of it has truly been special for me.
It's mind-blowing, isn't it?
Yes.
Did you know that plants hurt too?
Whoa.
See, we're told that they don't have pain.
That's rough.
I want you guys to remember one thing. That's pushed out by the CIA and John Carrico.
Strangers can kidnap you or hurt you. If someone in a uniform walked up to you on the street and said, "Come with me,"
like ICE,
what would you do?
Talk to your parents.
Yeah, I guess, unless your parents aren't anywhere to be found, because...
Well, I was going to say, I might have to have a seance to talk to mine, but...
That could be arranged. I'm sure ICE would allow you to do that, right? I mean...
If you're getting a bucket of ice, yeah.
They usually allow people to call their loved ones before they ask for a large sum of money or whatever, like a ransom situation, I think.
Well, they say you can't take it with you, though, so I don't know about that.
Well, I have one more thing, but before I show it, I'm going to end off with it. What do you guys have to add to the deceptions that are seemingly being flooded to our society?
I just want to say that I'm not really here. I'm actually an AI creation, and I guess that proves it, because I'm actually out playing golf somewhere. And I don't even play golf, so.
Yeah, we believe that.
Good deal.
Yeah.
Well, I'll handle the next story. So there's more fake snow on the front, it looks like. You guys remember back in the day when snow was fake, and it looks like it's still fake. Ain't nothing changed.
So does somebody want to tell me what kind of snow melts like this? Look at it.
I think that might be manna.
Rubbery. It's crazy. Look at the film on top of the ice. Look at this. Look at this. Tell me what kind of snow melts like that.
See, that's interesting.
All right, get right over here, son.
I'll show them what we did right there. Look what we did.
We tried to heat the top up to melt the ice off the top of our garage area right here. We're going to see if we can't melt this snow, because nothing's coming off. Yeah, we're still using
that flame is way too small to do any good.
Then this torch, he says, can cut metal when he sets it to another setting. So then he turns it up to that higher setting and still tries to melt the snow.
That's crazy.
Why? First of all, why is snow turning black? That's weird. Whereas that guy said, that's crazy.
That's crazy.
Put some oxygen to it like you would. But then we're going to cut a piece of metal.
Oh, he's turning it up so he can cut metal.
There it is. Yep.
Well, that'll do the trick. You show him how it's done, Farmer John.
That's crazy. I mean, it's melting it now. Okay, there it is.
How much heat do you have to put?
You have to put an enormous amount of
500 degrees
to melt this snow. And even then, it's having problems.
Yeah. He's having issues right now trying to melt.
That's insane.
Yeah, it's just more of this.
right, guys, we see the snow. We're gonna go outside. We're gonna find out if that snow is real. Something's not right with this snow. This isn't real snow. We're gonna do an experiment. We're gonna take some of this snow here. We're gonna bring this inside.
I'm gonna fast forward a little bit.
Down. And
So he smushed it in his hands.
it feels odd. So we're gonna light it here. And it's not giving me water. It's just turning black. What is this?
Government made fake snow.
VIP.
Snow won't melt.
Yeah, to melt snow these days, you have to have a metal cutter.
Maybe you're bringing me back, colleague. Maybe I wasn't wrong.
I'm listening.
Go outside and touch the snow, quote unquote.
Look at that.
Look at the skies before the snowstorm. This massive snowstorm that we're supposed to get. This is pure evil.
Chemtrails.
What kind of snow is this?
Dippin' Dots, snow. I don't know what
Everybody
that is.
talking about this.
Have you been in Europe? So this was pretty interesting. So you guys heard that lady talking about the chemtrails, which everybody keeps saying is just a big conspiracy theory, which I guess now because the Epstein files are out and they're saying all these conspiracy theories were actually true. Now the government, I guess, is more comfortable with just going out here and saying, yeah, we're doing this stuff. So this guy, Augustus Dorico, is on this show talking about chemtrails and snow and how you make snow.
And in your own rain? Snow. Yeah, our own snow. It's actually way easier to make snow than it is rain. Why is that? So you know how the material freezes the liquid in the cloud? Mm-hmm. That means that the cloud has to be cold enough for you to freeze it in the first place, which generally means that it's cold beneath the cloud too. Now, with respect to rain, we're operating in Utah, Colorado, Oregon, California, and Texas. It's all rain in Texas, so we've been in our own rain there. Out in West Texas and the Trans-Pecos, the Panhandle, that's been pretty cool. Yeah, that's got to be pretty. It's got to be a weird feeling, knowing that that's your rain. Like I said, that's the second most important thing that I've ever done in my life. What is the agent? Yeah, so silver iodide. That is what has been used in one form or another for the last 60 years.
He just said, he's admitting all kinds of things now. They're putting silver iodide. And he says, we've been doing this for the last 60 years. But if you ever mention, which I have in public, chemtrails, everybody's like, oh, conspiracy theory. This guy's like talking about like, oh yeah, we've been doing this for the last 60 years. Yeah, we're doing it. We've been doing it. This is what we actually use. Like, and there's, of course, there's probably different companies doing it.
But what if they're doing it because they're trying to help us?
Well, of course. And I'm always, I don't want to bite the hand that feeds me.
It's a tough one because I'm still going back and forth here. I really thought I was on to something about being wrong.
I don't think that's possible.
Am I always right?
But what do I know? I'm not a doctor, Jim.
2 wrongs don't make a right, but 3 lefts do.
Are triangles real?
Why don't you ask Zelda?
Have you ever seen a triangle out in the nature?
Oh, out in the wild. Yeah, that's true. Only in captivity.
Anyways, I don't know. I'm battling with this.
I've seen mountains, and well, pyramids are man-made mountains, but so there's many mountains that are. Ask Bob Ross. We talked about him last time.
I think I'm stuck with this quandary. I think I need people in the comments to save me. Because it is tough. Because if they're here, because you know all these things are out there, like even what you just showed, they're posited as means to help where we're lacking. If you don't have no rain, aren't you glad they send the rain?
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind it. I don't mind the snow as long as the snow isn't going to be some weird like white substance.
What if it's there to protect you and you don't know what that's for? The unknownness is what we're afraid of. but maybe it's there to protect you from something you don't know. Like you showed that animal coming out of the piñata.
So we're in the wrong. The kids are in the wrong for hitting the piñata when really we should just leave it alone.
Should have just left it alone.
Yeah.
But then you're woken up the giant.
Mm-hmm.
And now they had to give you something called Oswell so that they can use a means so they could protect you from the thing that people were playing with.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a tough one. I'm going to have to battle this throughout this week. What do you think, Elder? You think I've been wrong about everything?
I think you've been wrong about being wrong.
Can you expand on that?
No.
Okay. That's good.
Well, allow me then.
Mm-hmm.
My father always used to tell me that he was wrong one time. Now, he said it was about 50 years ago. And he was like, and you guys want to know what that was? Of course, we did. So he would tell us, the one time I was wrong was when I thought I was wrong. And I was actually right. And I felt that. Like, it hit me to the core. I was like, wow. Now, here's a man that we can look up to. Not we as the siblings, my other 8 siblings, but we as a society, a culture.
Where's he at now?
He's been lifted up.
Is he hanging out with the toothless Bengals?
We saw him raise into the clouds with angels carrying his shoulders.
That seems fake. Maybe you've been lied to.
I always check my facts.
We used to look up to my dad, but he was 6'2".
But that also means he looked down on you, though. And for that, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
But isn't that what the government is?
Sorry, probably.
Yeah, I guess. I was going to say your father.
Yeah, the government has us in their arm, and they're protecting us, and they're telling us everything's going to be okay.
So what do you think we should do? You think we should continue with this idea that the government is suppressing the real truth and they're really trying to get us sucked into the matrix? Do you think that's really the truth? What we've been saying all along? Or do you think what I've been talking about is actually the truth and I've had it all backwards?
I think it's a both and. I think they are lying to us about stuff to protect us, to save us, not for our good, but for their own good. Because they need us in some way right now, but soon they won't. Maybe AI's fake. Maybe all that's fake. Maybe the moon landing was fake, but they had to pretend that it wasn't. They had to deceive all of us so Russia wouldn't come and invade us or do whatever they were planning on doing. So they had to not only dupe the rest of the world, but they had to dupe us as well.
So you don't think that it's fake because they're trying to help us? It's fake because they want to control us, like we've been saying, so that they can achieve their objective, whatever that is.
Of course, there's always strings attached. If you are getting a free handout from your CEO of your company that you're working for, there's a reason. They expect more from you. If they promote you to a management position, ultimately it's for their own good, but it benefits you too. So the best thing to do is ride the whale.
So it's not because they love us.
No, God, no.
That's what I was thinking. You know, like a good father who loves their child. They're going to do things and the child doesn't understand it, but it's because the father loves the child and is looking for the best interest for the child. And sometimes suppression is because the child can't comprehend or understand the magnitude. So you have to suppress things or put out things in certain ways, but it's really for the genuine good of the child. And that's what a good father would do. But you don't think that's what the government's doing?
I think the government is more like an alcoholic, abusive father that will sometimes give you presents to try to make up for being bad.
So it's really just a psychopath.
Well, you don't have to be a psychopath to be drunk.
No, I'm saying if you can premeditate all of this and curate this whole entire government and put out this mass agenda and then say, I am your father. I think that's pretty psychopathic.
Work for Darth Vader.
That's highly premeditated. True. So it's one of the two.
Yeah, but it cost Darth Vader his life in the end. I mean, am I right or am I right?
Can we save the government?
If they come clean and they tell us that they are our Father.
I think they
on
have.
Earth.
Didn't you see that TikTok with Trump? He played that song, "Daddy's Home, Daddy's Home."
But, another thing I wanted to cover as far as like governmental cover-ups, and this may be an ancient thing even, done by ancient governments, that's just carried into our present era. But have you guys heard of petrified human statues?
I've heard about petrified wood.
People are starting to believe that some statues may actually be real human beings who were turned into stones.
Oh my days. Oh my diddy. These are not statues. Bredo, these are petrified people. Oh, you son of a bitch. So let me see if I got this straight.
Now that does look kind of interesting. You can clearly see a bone right here. There's flesh and then there's skin. But this would be a really old statue. I guess I don't know if this is like an ancient Greece statue that they uncovered. Maybe not. But maybe this is a modern one that they got turned into a stone somehow. Maybe the CIA, the guy talked about waterboarding isn't as bad as some other punishments that they thought of in their frat parties. Maybe some other things that they thought about while they're intoxicated was, I wonder if we can turn people into rocks, like get Medusa on it. Because that looks pretty interesting. Like if you break a statue and it looks like it's got bone marrow and flesh and then skin, there's 3 layers.
You're trying to tell me a man 600 years ago used a hammer and chisel for 2 weeks and he chiseled a skeleton? Come on, Bredo. That don't make sense. So the arm fell off and for some reason there's a skeleton type. I don't even know what that's meant to be.
No, I'm convinced that someone is actually trapped in there. Straight up, that's a real person. I'm sorry. It is.
Now, if it was a real person, their eyes wouldn't be preserved like that. Just throwing that out there. Their eyes would have shriveled up. Like if you've seen a dead corpse, even on an animal, roadkill, the eyes, they don't really preserve like that. They don't stay spherical.
Maybe it's embalmed.
Yeah, I mean, that's possible. But eyes, if you embalm the eyes, it's not going to be clear, crystal clear like that. You're going to see the fluid right through it. And maybe the Egyptians had some kind of advanced technology from the aliens.
The Anunnakos.
Yeah. And there's a lot of these statues too. We don't need to go through all of them, but there's a lot of statues that look interesting. You can just type in on Google, petrified human statues. And there's actually pictures on Google of real humans who got turned into stone because of something happened, some catastrophe happened. A volcano erupts and it cooks them to a crisp and they just get petrified or something happens. Somehow their body gets preserved and it becomes some kind of rock figure. So it's not like it's impossible. Nothing is impossible.
No, not after what we've seen today.
What do you mean?
After what we've seen today with all the videos, nothing is impossible.
Oh, yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. For man, these kinds of things are impossible. But for the government, nothing is impossible.
No.
And I think there's just a lot of doubt going on out there. And this is another thing. This is pretty recent, I think. This is a human's face painted black. But this is not their actual body, of course. So he's just laying underneath the table or something with his head propped up on the table to make it look like this is his body. And these people are eating this flesh. And what's really interesting, if you notice, this is clearly as African as it gets. This almost looks like a mockery, like what Disney World used to do with blackface. This looks like a cartoon mockery of African Americans. And they're eating this African-American woman, pregnant woman, it seems like. And this is the kind of stuff that it looks like the elites are into.
To understand, these people are playing in our faces. That is something that happens in real life, in their everyday life. They use that as entertainment. 100%, I do believe that they be eating people. They laugh while the person is screaming in pain, held down by whatever. Like, come on. You can say, oh, it's art. This satanic. I wanted y'all to see that the same way I had to see it.
So that was a cake.
Yeah, it's a cake. Maybe I didn't make that clear. This was not a statue, but it's interesting though. Like it's in that same line of thought.
I don't know. Maybe you're right, colleague. Maybe I wasn't wrong. Maybe the elites really are as malicious, psychotic, devious, premeditatively trying to control us because they don't have good intentions.
Yeah. What's that song from, was it True Direction or whatever, the boy band? They said something about intentions.
Gotcha now.
No, maybe it was the Watermelon Sugar Kids. I don't know. Who knows what the kids are listening to these days? The bottom line is the government is having their cake and eating it, and it's wrong.
And it's people.
Like, you can't break a paradox without consequences.
If they are eating people, then yeah, we need to continue doing our service and reminding people they are eating the cats. They are eating the dogs.
They're eating the babies.
Yeah, they're eating the babies.
That's a whole nother thing everybody's been talking about.
But man, watching all these videos that I saw this week just reminded me, this is humanity out there. So it is persuading. I mean, can't you see what I'm saying? When you look at humanity raw, it looks like they need some guidance. But maybe they need guidance from the Matrix Network. Maybe that's actually what they need and not the government.
We're here to save the world.
It might be it. Maybe I need to reallocate.
Maybe some people need guidance. Maybe other people don't.
Nice and silky smooth.
Do they look like people that need guidance? Or what about these people?
I just want to show how we live. Are you actually going to find a job?
Not right now.
Yeah, I think they need some guidance.
Or CPS.
Well, that's a lot to think. I'm glad you guys have posited some contrary thoughts. I'm going to have to rethink. I really thought I was onto something, but maybe there is a reason to continue pressing through and telling people the truth about the Matrix.
Yeah, like I was over there trying to off camera. I was trying to scratch myself, and I couldn't even do that in privacy. It was like the camera just had to look towards me, and I know this is all the Epstein stuff. They wanted people to see that, and I was like, well,
the joke's on them because there's editing.
Yeah, I forgot.
Yeah. Yeah, well, too bad for them. Because here at the Matrix Network, we're going to press on.
Because this is the Matrix.
Because we don't want you to get sucked into the delusion. It almost got me.
There's no sucking here.
That's right. We're the only ones doing the sucking.
That's right.
And we do it for you.
We do that for you.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot to process this week, but I appreciate all the thoughts and contemplations because I was really struggling with those thoughts. But you guys tell us in the comments, what do you think?
Well, who can stay their hand?
Well, we'll see in next week's episode.
Even now, their hand is over us.
Well, anything you'd like to end out with, Elder?
Other than stay tuned for next week's show when we see the Revenge of Host.
I like that, the Revenge of Host.
The Sith Lord.
Yeah, because if I come to the conclusion that I've been right all along, I'm coming with fury.
You're going to wipe the floor with them.
Yeah.
Those guys are toast.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm coming with the full load. But as always, hopefully you guys have enjoyed this episode. Hopefully it was thought-provoking. Hopefully you leave a comment. Like this video, subscribe if you haven't. Check us out on audio podcasts on Spotify, on Apple iTunes, everything else. Check out the lives on every Thursday where you can talk to us, ask us any questions you like. And there was the plug. But as always, this fine gentleman here, that's colleague, and this fine gentleman here, and that's Elder. But as always, I'm host, and this has been the Matrix Network. Stay tuned in for next week to see if it's the Revenge of Host.
We'll be back.